Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got a great set of materials here, all focused on uh, getting better at English by talking about something super common, your daily routine.
Right.
And we're not just summarizing these, we're going to really pull apart the essential grammar,
Yeah.
the words you absolutely need, and maybe those little tricks that make you sound more natural.
Yeah, the bits that take it from sounding like a list to, well, sounding like you actually speak the language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the daily routine thing, it's probably one of the quickest ways to start a real conversation in English.
Oh, definitely. Meeting new people at work, catching up with friends. It just works.
It's relatable.
And there's a neat linguistic trick here, too. The source didn't point this out. When you talk about your routine, your habits, you're basically forced to use the simple present tense.
Ah, okay. So mastering the routine helps you master that core tense.
Pretty much. It's a shortcut, in a way. Gets you practicing something fundamental right off the bat.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive, unpack the rules, get the key words down, and then add that. Well, you called it the secret sauce before we started, the adverbs.
The frequency adverbs, yeah, they add the nuance.
Let's build it from the ground up. Foundation first, the grammar. What is a daily routine in this context?
Well, simply put, it's the stuff you do every day, usually in a similar order, right? Waking up, brushing teeth, breakfast, that kind of thing.
Standard stuff.
Yeah.
And the critical grammar point you mentioned.
It has to be the simple present tense. No way around it for routines.
Why mandatory? Why not say past tense?
Because simple present signals it's a habit. It happens regularly. It's a fact about your life structure, not just something that happened yesterday or something you're doing, like right this second.
Okay, got it. So I wake up at 7 a.m., not I woke up or I am waking up.
Precisely. Or I go to school at 8 a.m., I eat dinner at 8 p.m. Simple present shows it's the usual pattern.
Now, there's a little trap here, though, isn't there, with the S?
Oh, yes. The third person singular es. Crucial. If you're talking about yourself, I or you, we, they, the verb stays simple. I wake up, they eat lunch. But if the subject is he, she, or it, you absolutely must add that es or es to the verb. He wakes up, she goes to work, it starts at 9.
That trips so many people up. It's such a small thing, but it sounds instantly wrong if you miss it.
It really does. You have to nail that down.
Okay, so that's the bedrock grammar rule. Now let's put some basic vocabulary on it. The morning essentials.
Yeah, the launchpad sentences, things like, I wake up, then maybe I get out of bed.
Right. I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I take a shower, I get dressed, I eat breakfast.
And finally, I go to school or I go to work.
Yep, those core actions. And what's cool is how quickly they become a conversation. The sources show this with practice dialogues.
Like, what time do you wake up? Exactly. And the answer isn't just 7 a.m. It's usually I wake up at 7, then I brush my teeth, maybe take a shower, and then I eat breakfast. See? It flows naturally because the grammar connects those habitual actions.
It becomes a little story.
A mini narrative, yeah.
Okay, so morning covered. Let's extend that. Applying the same grammar to the afternoon, the workday, study time.
Sure. So you'd have sentences like, I start work at 9 a.m. or I start studying after lunch.
I check my emails. I have lunch, maybe specify the time. I have lunch at 1 p.m. I meet with colleagues or I meet classmates. And then I finish work at 5 p.m. or I finish school around 3.
Still simple present, just different verbs and times.
Exactly the same structure.
Yeah.
Which brings us to asking questions. It's just as vital for conversation. You need to be able to ask, not just answer.
Right. The sources give a good list. What are the must-know questions?
Well, the pattern is key. What time do you and what do you do? Those are your friends.
So memorize things like, definitely. What time do you wake up? What do you do after breakfast? Super useful. What do you usually eat for lunch? And the classic end of day one, what time do you go to bed?
And asking these questions keeps the conversation flowing using that same simple present structure you mentioned.
It does. It prompts the other person to use it too. Makes the whole exchange smoother, more accessible.
Okay, but basic sentences can be a bit dry. We need more vocabulary to add detail, right?
For sure. The materials offer good expansions beyond just the absolute basics.
Like what?
Things like make the bed, comb hair, take a bus, or drive a car to get to work or school.
Ah, okay. More specific actions.
Yeah, work on the computer, do homework. Even things like go shopping or talk with friends can be part of a routine for some people.
And these slot right into the same sentence structure. I make the bed after I get up. I usually talk with friends in the evening.
Perfectly. That's where the mini story example in the source, the one about Alex, is quite telling.
How so?
It shows you can build a whole day's narrative just using simple present and simple connectors like first, then, after that.
So I wake up at 6:30. First, I brush my teeth. Then I take a shower. Like that.
Exactly like that. You don't need fancy grammar. The chronological order and the consistent tense provide the coherence. It makes telling your story much simpler.
Okay, foundation. Simple present. Walls. The vocabulary. Now, you mentioned the paint. The secret sauce.
Right. Frequency adverbs. This is what adds the realism.
Because life isn't 100% predictable?
Precisely. Routines have variations. You don't always do everything exactly the same way every single day. Maybe you skip breakfast sometimes, or you work late occasionally.
So these adverbs let you express that.
Yes, they show how often you do something. The core ones, the sources list are great. Always, which is like 100% of the time.
Okay.
Then usually maybe 80%, often around 70%. Sometimes that's your 50-50.
Half the time.
Yeah. Then less frequent, rarely, maybe 20%, and never, which is 0%.
Always. Usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Got it.
Now, knowing what they mean is one thing. Using them correctly is another. Their position in the sentence is, well, it's key to sounding natural.
Ah, okay. Where do they go? Is there a rule?
There are basically two main rules, and they cover most situations. Rule 1, the adverb usually goes before the main verb.
Before the action word. So, I usually eat eggs. Not, I eat usually eggs.
Exactly. I often check my email. I sometimes skip lunch before the main verb.
Okay, that seems straightforward. What's rule 2?
Rule 2 is for when you're using the verb to be, so am, is, are. In that case, the adverb goes after the verb to be.
After am, is, are. Example.
I am never late for work, not I never am late. Or she is sometimes tired after school.
Okay, so before the main verb, but after to be, that's the magic trick.
That's the core of it, yeah. Get that positioning right, and your sentences immediately sound more fluent.
Let's try that with some of the more advanced vocabulary the sources mentioned. Like instead of just wake up.
Okay, maybe stretch. So, applying rule 1. I often stretch my body in the morning. Or meditate. I sometimes meditate before breakfast. Adverb before the main verb.
Right. And for evening activities.
Same thing. I always cook dinner. We usually watch TV after dinner. I rarely go out on weeknights.
Or things you don't do. I never drink coffee late at night.
Exactly. See how much more personality and detail that adds compared to just, I cook dinner or I drink coffee.
Yeah, it feels much more real. Which leads to another reality. Weekdays versus weekends. They're usually pretty different routines.
Totally different. And you need to be able to talk about both. It's a key step towards sounding more advanced.
So how does the language change? Still simple present?
Yes. For the weekday, you're describing that fixed structure. I wake up at 7 a.m., I finish work at 6 p.m. It's consistent.
But the weekend?
The weekend is where those frequency adverbs really shine. You use them to show the flexibility. I usually wake up late on Saturdays, or I often watch movies, but I never do work on weekends.
So the grammar stays the same, but the adverbs and the specific activities change to reflect the different routine.
Precisely. The Sarah in London story in the sources illustrates this perfectly.
How does that work?
Well, Sarah describes her weekday. I usually wake up at 6:30. I always brush my teeth. Standard stuff. Then she shifts to the weekend using the exact same grammar structure, just different adverbs and verbs. I usually wake up late, maybe around 9 a.m. I often go shopping with friends.
So she contrasts the two routines smoothly just by tweaking the adverbs and vocabulary.
Yeah, it shows how that basic framework is really flexible once you add the adverbs.
And that idea of routine actually connects to something bigger, doesn't it? Culture.
Absolutely. The sources make a great point here. Routines aren't universal. They are deeply tied to culture, to social norms.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that. Trying to get dinner in Spain at 6 p.m. Forget it.
Right. Perfect example. Dinner times vary hugely. Europe might be 6 or 7 p.m. But the sources mention India, where 9 or 10 p.m. is normal.
And it's not just meal times.
No, think about the Spanish siesta, that afternoon break or nap. It's built into the daily rhythm in a way that just doesn't exist in many other office cultures, like in the U.S. or parts of Northern Europe.
Recognizing these differences is important then.
It really is. It lets you ask better, more insightful questions. You move beyond just what time.
So instead of basic questions, the sources suggest more advanced ones.
Yeah, questions that probe a bit deeper, knowing that routine reflects culture. Things like, what's the very first thing you do after waking up? Or maybe, do you ever skip breakfast? That can reveal priorities.
Or, how much time do you usually spend watching TV in the evening? Gets into leisure habits.
Exactly. These questions open the door to understanding personal choices and maybe even cultural values reflected in how someone spends their time makes for a much richer conversation.
Okay, let's pull it all together then. What have we unpacked for the listener?
We've got the absolute core. The simple present tense is king for routines. Remember that third person's is?
Got it. We built up the vocabulary, basic morning stuff, then expanding through the day, evening, even some more nuanced actions.
Then we added the secret sauce, the 6 main frequency adverbs. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. And crucially, where to put them.
Before the main verb, after to be.
Nail that, and you're sounding much more natural. Plus, we talked about describing weekday versus weekend routines and how routines connect to culture.
So the toolbox is full. What are the final tips for actually using it? The sources had some advice there too.
Yes, crucial advice. Don't just memorize lists, you have to speak. Practice saying the sentences out loud.
Make it active.
Every day if possible. Really focus on getting those adverbs in the right place. Maybe try recording yourself. It can be revealing to hear how you actually sound.
Cringeworthy sometimes, but useful.
Definitely useful. It helps you catch awkward phrasing. Application is everything. You need to make it muscle memory.
Okay, so practice, record, focus on the adverb placement.
Right. And maybe a final thought to chew on, building on that culture idea.
Go for it.
If talking about your routine means using the simple present to describe daily habits, and those habits are unique to you, shaped by your personality, your culture, then isn't describing your routine also an act of, well, self-definition?
Interesting. How so?
By focusing on how you structure your time, what you always do, what you never do, you're essentially identifying your priorities, your values, made visible through action. So when you practice describing your routine in English, you're not just learning grammar and vocab.
You're learning to articulate who you are, in a way.
Exactly. You're defining yourself through the structure of your days, something to maybe think about and practice talking about this week.